Steeler Nation, what's going on? It's your man, Caveezy. Lil Rooney had a little interview with Missi Matthews yesterday. We about to check it out. We want to see what he talking about, man. Let's get into it.
Art, the Steelers almost punched their ticket to the playoffs but fell just short. So how do you evaluate the 2022 season?
I think the encouraging thing is that as the season went on, I think we got to be a better team. And even though we started out, dug ourselves a deep hole, guys never stopped fighting. And, we kept ourselves alive all the way down to the last game of the season. So it's too bad we didn't make the playoffs, but I was encouraged by the way we finished.
Kenny Pickett came in at halftime of the Jets game. Did how and when that took place, him becoming the starter, surprise you at all?
I expected him to become the starter at some point during the season. Didn't know it would be at halftime of that game. But, we thought Kenny was going to be on track to become our starter, sooner or later. And I think it worked out pretty well. And he came in at a time where gave him an opportunity to improve and playing some tough games and certainly showed down the stretch, leading us on drives to win games late in the game. That's good to see.
Basically, he's saying, hey, Mitch, you're not going to be the starter the whole year. I have no faith that you was going to finish the year as the Pittsburgh Steelers starter. I knew once we got Kenny, the writing was on the wall for you. Let's get back into it.
Was there anything you learned about him that you didn't already know?
Probably didn't know the extent of his mental toughness. I think he showed that, particularly, like I say, in those late drives, a couple games there, showed a lot of mental toughness and just, he's just a tough kid. Good to see that.
Hindsight's always 20/20, but do you wish that maybe he got some more first-team reps in the offseason and training camp?
Not really. I mean, I think, when you have a rookie quarterback, you don't necessarily go into the season saying he's going to be our starter week one. And so I think we prepared as though, like I said, we probably thought he was going to become the starter at some point, but I didn't expect him to be the starter on day one, and think it's probably better that he wasn't. I think it's good for a rookie quarterback to stand on the sidelines a little bit and see what's going on. And so I think it worked out pretty well.
What went into the decision to stay with Matt Canada as offensive coordinator?
I think the improvement that we saw over the course of the season, particularly some key statistical areas, we really improved in third down efficiency and ball possession. That helped us, stay in those games and win those games down the stretch. So there are things we need to improve on. Our red zone offense needs to be better. We need to score more points. But, there was definite improvement there, and I think something we can build on.
All right. Now, in the video I made that Matt Canada may keep his job, towards the second half of the video, I start speaking on the last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 games. You feel me? That the Steelers slowly got better as, the offense was understanding the offensive players was understanding the offense, the game plan better. And you can tell by the way they were executing the game plan. And once we was able to execute the game plan, it didn't look too bad on Matt Canada as far as the play calling and whatnot, because the guys was executing what was being called for the most part. So I agree with Lil Rooney on that one.
As you said, it was disappointing to not get into the playoffs because of how well the team was playing. How do you evaluate the offense being so young, but knowing that they did come together towards the end?
I think I'm excited for the future. A lot of good young players on offense that we hope are going to take that next step next year, and that's part of the reason to be encouraged, I think.
In this setting, the past few years, we've talked a lot about improving the run game, which was another element of the offense that improved down the stretch. Can that carry over into 2023, or is that something that you have to start over with each year?
Yeah, you never know how much really carries over from one season to the other, but I think the fact that we're going to have a lot of the guys back, particularly our, Najee and Jalen, I think showed that they can be a good combination, an effective combination, and having them back should help. Yeah, that's part of the reason to be excited, I think, for next season.
Flipping over to the defense, how do you evaluate them knowing that TJ Watt missed 7 games?
Well, I mean, it's the statistics of what we did with him
Right.
and without him are pretty drastic. So we missed him for sure while he wasn't in there. And even though I'm not sure he was ever 100% when he came back, he's a difference maker. And if we can stay healthy, and obviously we've got some free agency situations we're going to have to address in the off season here. I think we can have a good defense next year.
Last year, you said that Minka Fitzpatrick was a priority to sign in the offseason. Is anybody a priority for this one?
I think there's a few guys out there that we're going to be looking at. I don't know that I can name one at this point, but definitely some in the defensive backfield in particular, we have some work to do to either bring guys back or, find replacements.
Do you feel the coaching staff is going to stay intact right now?
It's too early to say that it's, we're finished. We have coaches interviewing at other places, and so it's that time of year when coaches' contracts are up for discussion, and we're working our way through that. Coach Tomlin is working his way through that, and so I don't really want to speculate on it, as we sit here today.
Speaking of Coach Tomlin, 16 seasons, never had a losing one in his time with the Steelers. How do you evaluate his 22 performance?
I think the number one thing you look at, I look at in terms of the job a coach does is, does the team get better over the course of the season? And we clearly did that. Look, I don't really evaluate Mike on anything other than I'm glad he's our coach, and I think hopefully he'll be our coach into the future, and I think he gives us a chance to win year in and year out and put us in a position that we have a chance to compete for a championship.
Oh man, I know you Tomlin haters hated hearing that. I know y'all hated hearing that because I see every day you guys, y'all call him Dumbling. I already know what type of people y'all are. You feel me? But all the Mike Tomlin haters out there that spend all day on Twitter, all day in the Facebook groups, all day everywhere, whatever you do when you're not doing nothing. Like me right now, I'm actually eating, so I am doing something. But you guys are sick to your stomach hearing the owner of the team speak that way about Mike Tomlin. Basically, what I took from that was Coach Mike Tomlin will be the head coach until Coach Mike Tomlin says, I'm done. Or the Steelers just happen to be losing crazy, like only winning 3 games a year or something like that, which is not going to happen under Mike Tomlin, right? So I'm going to just sit here and let y'all think about that while we finish up this last little minute here. Y'all think about that. The owner of the team that you root for, like move heaven and earth for, that you do whatever you do for, is not mad at Mike Tomlin the way he coaches the team. So you, the Mike Tomlin haters, you need to shut the up. Okay? All right. Let's finish this, man.
Is there anything in this offseason or coming up in 2023 that you're excited about?
Well, we have work to do in terms of putting the roster back together. Nothing unusual there. Have some high draft choices that we have Omar and Andy working on putting together the draft plan, and so a lot of new faces in our draft room this year. So it'll be interesting to see how they all come together and work on our draft. So it'll be a little different without Kevin in the room. So it'll be interesting to see how all that unfolds.
What has the process been like for you personally, having new leadership in the GM role and just the scouting process?
For me, it hasn't been dramatically different so far. We're only at the beginning as far as, kind of my getting involved in the paying attention to the draft. So, I'm excited to see, like I said, new guys in the room and hearing some different opinions. Looking forward to it.
Art, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Shout out to Missi Matthews. Great interview. It seemed like it was short, but it seemed like it was a lot in there, right? The parts that I missed, I didn't stop, and I just wanted to address after, is when he said we want to bring back a couple guys or guys from the defense. And he didn't commit to one name. Business-wise, I understand. The Steelers is cheap. We cheap. So if we going to say, hey, man, we must sign Cam Sutton. Like certain guys you can say that about. You can say that about TJ. You can say that about Mink. You can say that about Cam a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, those guys, right? You can say their names. He didn't want to say no one name, but he did say defensive backfield, meaning Terrell Edmonds, Cam Sutton, KZ. You know what I'm saying? So he's trying to make something happen. And then the last thing that stuck out was you can have you have a feeling that this offseason is going to be an offseason that we're not used to because Kevin Colbert was doing things a certain way. But having Omar Khan in, and I just have a feeling that we're going to be making some splashes. Like he said, free agents, you know. And when he said free agents, I thought about the couple videos I've been making. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Ramsey. I didn't make an Aaron Donald video, but I did mention Aaron Donald. But he's not going to be a free agent, man, to my knowledge. But the Rams try to get everybody up out of there. But with just big name guys, Tyler Lewan, I made a video about him. Like years ago, you wouldn't think this was a possibility. Now with this offseason, the first offseason with a new GM, like Kevin Garnett says, anything is possible. Anything is possible. But it's your man, Kev Easy, man. Y'all let me know in the comments how you feel about Mr. Rooney's interview. You know, I called him Lil Rooney because, you know, I grew up with his pops, man. In my childhood, all the way up until his passing, it was his pops. You know what I'm saying? Raising up the Labaris, it was his pops. So that's why I call him Lil Rooney. You feel me? It's people that were born, and wherever you were born, you only know the Rooney that we're speaking on right now, that we seen. You know what I'm saying? But I know his pops. So that's why I always call him Lil Rooney. You feel me? It's no disrespect and nothing like that. But it's your man, Cavies. Let me know in the comments how you feel about the interview. Like, share, and subscribe. And we're going to see you on the next one. You heard? Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that notification button to stay up to date for Stills for 7 podcast content.